Restoration Christian Ministries presents Words to Inspire You. A time for sharing the things that will bring encouragement to your hearts and enlightenment to your minds. Inspirational words to keep you focused on the things of the kingdom of God and His Christ. Join us now and enjoy Words to Inspire You with your host, Pastor Jon Bazemore.
Well, hello everyone. This is Pastor B, and I want to welcome you to this special, very special edition of Words to Inspire You. This is my lovely wife, Lady D. Say hello, pretty girl.
Hello, everyone.
And we're just real excited. This is really, when I say a special edition, I really mean that from my heart because we have some real special guests here that's really dear to my
Yes.
heart. And this is really an honor for me. Listen, I want you guys' feedback. If you're getting any type of echo at all, let me know because I want the quality of this to be the right way. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be checking on that. But as I said, this is something that's real special to Darlene and I. We're quite excited about it. To have my son Tawan Bazemore and his wife
Yes.
Crystal Bazemore.
Yes.
Just they are doing just a phenomenal job. They're getting ready to tear up Hollywood, so we want to catch them on the way up.
Amen.
We don't want to wait until they get there. We want
Yes.
to catch them on the way up. So
Yes.
we're just so excited to have them, to have the opportunity. Let me get them in queue now. So excited to have the opportunity to have them with us. I can't even go through the regular intro talking about how long I've known Tawan. Well, I've known him since he was nothing, when he was in his mother's womb.
For existence.
But exactly, before the foundation of Tawan.
Right.
But he has really been consistent.
Yes.
You know, and this is one of the things I like about him, and I can truly say one of the qualities that he has that I have. When he grabs a hold of something, regardless of the obstacles that he's facing, he stays with it. And we're just so honored to have him and his very lovely wife, Chris.
Yes.
They've been married now, I believe, for 3 years. I believe it's 3 years. And we're just, if I got it wrong, I'm sure Chris is going to correct me. But we're just so happy to have them. And the reason that I have them on, like I said, they're on their way up.
Mm-hmm.
They just finished premiering an amazing film
Yes.
just a few years ago, and it's received accolades from all
All
over the world,
All over.
not just the country, from
Yes.
all over the world. So as a father, I am just honored to be sitting in this seat to have the opportunity to just to interview them and just to talk with them and let them share their hearts. And we have some questions that we want to ask them some of the questions that I think you would want to know. We have a couple of clips from the film that we're going to be reviewing. They also have a new project that they're working on now.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about that as well. So we want to give you the full spectrum of this dynamic before the camera and behind the camera couple. I just think it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I look at me and Darlene, and I just think she's a perfect complement to me, ministry-wise, and the things that I'm doing. And I just think it's amazing to have a wife that complements him so beautifully
Yes, she does.
in what he wants to do. He's very creative, behind the camera, and she is extremely creative before the camera.
Yes.
And you're gonna see this now. I'm not just telling you this because I know right now I sound just like a father, and that's okay because I am. But
Yes.
you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. So let me just let them say a couple of things, and then I'm going to start the interview. So Chris and Tawan, why don't you guys take the floor and just introduce yourselves?
Hi, I am Crystal Porter Bazemore. Hey, Papa B. Hey, Darlene. We're so excited to be here being interviewed by you all. I am an actress and a producer, and our film Sound has won 54 awards. That's what 52 we'll be talking about and showing. We've got Best Film, Best Director, Best Actress. We were just interviewed this morning, so we've been up California time since about 6:30, and it's kind of our whole press day. So we feel blessed to be here and super excited. This is very special for both of us, and we've been married 5 years.
Yeah, going on 5.
Going on 5.
Been
Yeah.
together about 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been cool.
Yeah. It's been great.
So, I'm Tawan Bazemore. I'm a PK, pastor's kid. Um, I'm a director, cinematographer, and a colorist. I do both all those positions probably equally. I'm very blessed to be here. The fact that I have my dad, my other mom interviewing us is such an incredible. It's just beautiful. I'm not super mushy, so I'm probably gonna cap it there before I start going into yeah.
So now I want to start with some questions for you and Chris. And, I kind of went over the questions with them last night so they wouldn't be surprised. I do have a surprise question for them. That's me. Tawan should know I'm not just going to go according to script. I would be completely not according to script being his dad if I did that. But I do have some questions that I've formulated, and so have Darlene, because we want you guys to really get a sense of, the things that they've been through, how they prepare themselves and things like that. So, Tawan and Chris, here's the first question. You and Chris have had a great partnership together. Did you envision this when you guys first got together?
Nah. Mm-mm. So here's one of the things that I was thinking about is like when we first met,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, being a director, I knew she was an actress, but I didn't know how good she was. And that would be really awkward to be in a relationship with someone and you don't want to really cast them. That would have been bad. So I feel ultimately blessed that she is so great at what she does that who the filmmaker I was prior is not the same filmmaker I am now. And I first owe that to God, but I also owe that to my wife for bringing out the best in me, even when I don't want it. So I didn't envision it, but God did, and I love the way it turned out.
Yeah, I also did not envision, creatively that we were going to have this chemistry and this symmetry. And is that right? Symmetry?
We will take it. We can Don King it. It's totally okay.
But but I didn't know that we were going to embody creatively what God has given us, and He did know that. I mean, I did not want to date anyone that was in the business. I mean, we both said that. Like
Yeah.
we'd go to sets, and I was like, I don't want to date another actor. I definitely don't want to date another director. I don't want to date anybody in the business. And God had other plans, and I think I always tell him that sound was the greatest work that I have ever done to date. And I don't think that would have been possible without you. I mean, you grow me as a creative, as an actor. I mean, I produced it alongside you, and as a woman. So yeah, I didn't see our creative collaboration.
And
coming.
you know what was crazy? It was like we weren't trying to make two pieces fit. It wasn't like, yo, we should like join and be like this team. It just went just like this. And then she has such a all right, so when Chris is an actress, she wants to act. She doesn't want to spend a whole lot of time producing, except when the film is shot. She is a warrior in post production when it comes to editing and being in the booth. And I mean, I got mad a few times, and rightly so, because it was Chris has this way of wanting the absolute finest in her work and in those that she worked with and as a complete project. And even when I think I'm done, she has a way of looking at it and bringing me back in so that I can see something that I hadn't seen before. And I think that when we were, not I think, but I know that when we had critics review the film, they dubbed us the Bazemore Duo.
Bazemore Duo.
And that was just based on the synchronicity of the picture, the sound, and what they saw as a director and what they saw as an actress and how we came together to make this work. So I definitely believe it was ordained.
For sure.
Mhm.
Please don't do that.
Word.
Okay, so Chris Chris works in front of the camera, Tawan, and you work behind the camera. So we as your parents, we know that. But now my question is, do you ever see those roles reversing? Can you see yourself as an actor going before the camera while Chris is behind the camera directing? Do you ever see that happening?
Wow.
Um, so this is interesting. I can see it happening and not see it happen. I can see it happening because Crystal always directs me to take out the garbage, and I didn't wash the dishes. I mean, she has a way of directing, but she's very creative, and I could see her telling a story with pictures by way of directing a cast and crew. Um, Me being in front of the camera, I started out as an actor. I went to acting school for 2 years in New York, Strasbourg, method acting. I was in stage plays. I was performed in front of the family. Uh, I was a great liar when I was a kid, except for my father. He caught me every time. But so I can tell a story in front of the camera. I don't want to audition. You're either gonna hire me, or I don't want to audition. I don't want to get rejected that way. I don't want to deal with headshot. I don't want to deal with none of that stuff. I don't want to become insecure, because that's a very tough thing that a lot of actors go through. I don't think people really understand the amount of strength you have to have as an actor, the amount of courage to go into every audition, the amount of dedication, the amount of endurance. There's a lot that goes into acting. It's just whatever you see in front of, whatever you see on the screen is after all of that. So I just don't have the patience for it. I like where I am. But if Crystal's like, babe, can you just get in front of the camera? I mean, maybe. Because you're cute, but I don't know. I don't know.
So
Oh,
no, go
sorry.
ahead,
I
go
was
ahead,
just saying,
Chris.
for me, I have no desire to direct as of right now. I have my passion outside of being in front of the camera is writing. So that's, you can jump in front of the camera with me, and we have a ton of stuff that we've written together that we just have never really talked about. We have a series that we've developed, and we've written 13 episodes of a comedy. Nobody knows about that yet. I've written a feature length, two feature length scripts that Tawan has really helped me on. We also have another one that T is writing that's in development. So we have a lot of stuff that people just don't know anything about, that we just quietly sit at home and we develop. So when those calls start coming in, or one of our films hits in a really big way, we've got a lineup of an arsenal for our production company.
And you know what they say when they say stay in your lane? And on the freeway it has, like, you have the fast lane or the passing lane, you got the journey lane, and then you got the slow lane where it's like, you're pretty much going to exit. We want to be in a journey lane. We are going on that journey together, and we're staying within that lane where we feel most comfortable, and where this is where we shine. She is an actress, me as a director and cinematographer and a producer. Now, when it comes to writing, we we headbutt each other a few times. Saucy up in here.
Well, because we're like, we have to, whose script is coming next?
Yeah, it's
that's
like, whose script is
coming?
but it's not even that. It's like, she had the audacity to say to me, after she was an award-winning film, she had the nerve to say to me, I said, I'm going to write a script. And she's like, well, I don't want to wait another 3 years to be in the film. I'm like, well, I mean, you got a whole bunch of other projects, but I think she's just talking about hours, and it doesn't take me 3.5 years to write.
It takes him a long time. He's a great writer, but it takes him a long time to get it on the page. But it's beautiful when he does.
You're so funny.
So let me say this to you guys. I was just laughing at the back and forth that y'all had going on, because I know right now you guys are in your flow, but it's just like ministry. Now, I had the hardest time not trying to convince Darlene that she had an anointing to minister the gospel, but just trying to give her, help her to get the confidence that she needed, to stand before the people. She always had the gift. And I really believe that what God has put in you, the opportunity to present it is going to come, but he's going to send people your way in the interim to get you ready for that next level, because anytime you do something different, it really is a next level. I want both of you to know as well that we are getting interruptions on this end, but I am recording, so I'll make sure that, if I need to, if needs be, I'll put out the full recording so everybody can get this uninterrupted, because you guys are awesome. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. So go ahead, honey. I know you got a couple of questions.
Okay, so this first question is for Tawan.
Oh boy.
Yeah, right. This has been a journey for you in the industry, one of which most people would have given up by this time. What would you say has been the glue to keep you holding on and pressing toward the fulfillment of your dream?
The very first thing, and I have to do it in this order, is I just never thought I couldn't.
That's beautiful.
And then what backs that up is God's given me the strength to persevere. And, and I have family, coalescing around the idea of me being a filmmaker. So those things kind of work in tandem, but I just don't believe I can. That's what's been keeping me going for all these years. People, there are a lot of young filmmakers. There are a lot of people who are aspiring. Hold up a second, Bodie. Please sit down. This is live, dude.
Sit down, bud.
Like seriously.
That's our dog.
So, man, you made me forget. But let me just start it this way. There are a lot of people who are pursuing something, and they may feel like they don't. Oh, I don't have this. I don't have that. This person's not supporting me. This person. I don't have support here. I don't have support there. You'd be amazed at once you start to focus. Like, I'm not just talking about glancing at what you want to do. I'm talking about actually focusing on what you want to do. People start noticing that you have this passion, and you start drawing them in. Even, you think that there's supposed to be people there, and that's good to think that way because you feel like, oh, this person loves me, why aren't they there? But even if they aren't, you start drawing people in based on passion. The reason why Jesus was drawing people in was not just because of his goodness. Well, it is because of his goodness, but it wasn't just he was doing miraculous things. His enemies were drawing near because of all the goodness that he was dispersing out to the people who were listening. So it doesn't matter, that people aren't around. Your passion draws people in. And so I have found myself being energized over and over and over again because my passion was drawing people in to hold my back up. And through all these years, I feel like I have steel in my spine. And I feel like, that anchor with the steel in my spine is now God blessed me with a wife to, just in case I start to get a little sidetracked and start moving this way and that way, I have that support. I have family. I have my mother and father, thank you God, they're still alive and are doing well and have that anchor of support. My other mommy is on the call, Crystal's mom, her dad, and just family around. So whoever you have, this is what I want to say to people, it's very important because somebody's low right now. Whoever you have, count it as joy, count it as anchor, count it as someone supporting your passion, because that is literally what drives you through, and that's what got me.
That was a great question and answer. And I often think about you, Tawan. You went out to California not really knowing anyone, but the thing that you took with you to California was your dream. And you did not let that dream die. There were some times that I know, we've talked on the phone and you may have been discouraged. You were wondering, how things were going to work out. And that being said, now your new project, Sound, when was the actual premiere date that you actually, launched the first So, well, I guess publicly, so everyone could see it.
March 20, March 24th, 2019.
So now, since that time, okay, so since that time, how many actual awards? I don't know if you've sat back and counted because I've just lost count. It's been so many. But how many awards? Because I've seen Best Actress, Best
Right.
Director, music, cinematography. Just goes on and on and on.
Yes,
I mean, your head, you and Chris's head should just be going, just swelling up. But how many actual awards have you and Chris received since the actual premiere of Sound?
I I honestly believe, I really feel like God just told this to me in the most unique and incredible way. We won one award for every week in a year, 52.
Wow. Now that's pretty awesome.
Yes.
I'm just getting excited about this because there may be some that's watching there that have not seen any parts of it. Now, the amazing thing to me is that Chris didn't talk during this whole film,
No.
and I was just so full of emotion watching her. Let me show a little clip so the audience can see, so they can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Now, this first clip that I'm going to show Chris, it's the I think it's called the mountain scene. Let me give me a second. I want to cue it up. Okay, so folks, this is the mountain scene. I'm going to show this is it's about a minute long, and then I'm going to come back and let Chris talk about it. Here we go. Wow. Okay, so now Chris, I'm gonna hand it over to you. Tell me without giving anything away, because I know you want the audience, when we're done with this interview, to go back immediately and watch the and actually watch the film. And we're gonna put up before we end the broadcast how you can actually go and watch this from beginning to end. But Chris, share with us exactly what was going through your mind. I know you and Tawan were collaborating on, what you were trying to project. So tell me what was going through your mind when y'all were on these beautiful California hills and you were just there projecting. Tell me what was going through your mind.
Well, two things at this particular point in the journey. Isabel, which is the character that I play, she's returned back to the mountain where she actually, can I say, like, should I say an accident? Where, yeah, where she's had an accident. So this is her first time going back up to that scene where her accident took place. She's a photographer, so she has a love of photography, and it's been about a year or so since she's been back up there to take pictures again. So she's really, approaching a very large burden, or removing a burden that was there from her, and she is coming to a place where she's overcoming a fear. So for me, when I act, I bring in music to whatever it is that I'm doing, the role that I'm doing. And it's funny, the song normally chooses me. I don't choose the song. And the particular song that I chose for this film was a song by Kristen Chenoweth. And I can't remember the name of it, but if you go back and look, when Oprah Winfrey was celebrated for the end of her show, she came on stage and they had Morehouse men that she had given scholarships to, and I think it was like 500 men that Oprah had paid to go to Morehouse at the time. And Kristen Chenoweth was singing this song, and it just moved me in such a way. And I think also, what Oprah had done for these young black men. I mean, it was just, even now I get a little teary-eyed thinking about it. It was just phenomenal. And so I think that song, for some reason, led the journey emotionally for me of where I was going to go. So at that particular time in the film, I think, I'm really reflective. A part of me is very excited to be back at this place that I love so much, but I'm very afraid because I'm overcoming what was an obstacle for me, and really what changed my life, because that crash was what made her lose part of her hearing.
So now, Chris, now I know my son, and I know how passionate he is, and I know how he's so much like his father that he wants everything done just right. So now, when you are preparing for scenes, and this is not one of the questions that you saw that we talked about last night, but when you are preparing for scenes, has there ever been like any type of conflict that maybe have boosted you to do even more? Because I got to tell you, I want to share, and I want you to think about the answer because I've got this scene that I want them to look at that you guys sent me, and I got to tell you, this scene. When I first saw, because we actually went to the theater to see the premiere with you guys when you came to Jersey, and for those of you that don't know, Tawan and Crystal in California, that may be one of the reasons we're getting interruptions back and forth. But like I said, we are recording this, so I'm going to make sure you guys can see this whole interview uninterrupted. So, but when I saw that scene, Chris, I mean, it pulled me in. I mean, I was like on the edge of my seat. So let me show everyone this scene that I'm talking about, because I just thought it was just absolutely awesome. I think I have it queued up, so here we go. Now that was actually the short version, and I'm sure that people can get a sense of what I was talking about, because Dolly and I, we were sitting down and we were talking, and we were just saying, how do you get yourself, particularly because most actors and actresses, they show their expressions, and it's really kind of give you a feel for what they're seeing and feeling through what they're saying. But in this, there were no words spoken. So
Right.
how did you physically dealing with my son get yourself ready? Guys, he's gonna kill me later. I want y'all to know that. But how did you get yourself, emotionally prepared, particularly for a scene like this?
So that's so funny, because it's kind of like a two-part question. So let me deal with, how do I get myself emotionally prepared? So I believe in reading the script over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And then there's a ton of character work that I do, story work that I do, just from, I'm a method actor, or have been. And so at that particular time, that's just years of work and study. So there's a lot that goes into the work that I bring before I even come to set. And so, Tawan, I have my own little way of like, she's experiencing hyperacusis. So I am dealing with a person who has limited hearing, who ends up losing her hearing, and then hearing comes back at deafening levels. So I had to play with what the components were for that, for me, physically and mentally. And Tawan would be like, "Are you working on the character? What are you? I don't see you on the page enough. What are you?" And I'm like, I have my own way of working, but because he didn't physically see me working, he just thought I was doing nothing. And then probably one thing, we don't have this scene, but when people watch it, when I go up to the mountain, there's a part of the film where I'm experiencing total pain. Well, because I was dancing before
God, you're
that,
telling them that?
I am. Because there's a part in the film where I'm dancing before that, because I celebrate, because I get my hearing back, I started getting very nauseous, because we were at an elevation of what, like 4,000 feet?
About 3,500.
About 3,500 feet on Angeles Crest Parkway. People know that in LA. That's where we filmed that mountain scene. And so I started to get really sick. So I'm literally by the car tire on my knees, like having what I thought was like an attack, and he's filming it. It made the movie.
I needed the footage. I had to get it.
Yeah, and so with this particular clip, though, this is Tawan's Hitchcock moment. And we ended up shooting, this was from the reshoot. That wasn't
Yes.
even the original one.
Right.
So in going back in and reshooting that scene, it was a lot because we had to match the hair. We had to match the emotion of when you open and you actually see me in the bathroom. And so what we had to do collectively as a director-actor team is, because I never speak, we had to track emotionally where Isabel was at every point of the scene. And what people don't understand or they miss out on is we didn't build our sound until post-production. So sound is its own character that was built in post-production, but everything that I did as an actor was done in silence. So everything you see me reacting to, there was never anything there. There was no sound, no nothing. So I tell people that my biggest, for Isabel, or I guess for me as an actor, my biggest hurdle was silence, not sound. Because as an actor, if I didn't deliver the visual, we had nothing to create in post-production for sound. So we really had to work in tandem on where Isabel was in her journey of hearing and not hearing. So in that particular scene, that was more of our horror setup because I was coming out and it was, I don't know if someone is in the house.
Yeah.
I don't really know if the phone is sounding. I don't know what that sound is because, again, everything is muffled. So that was kind of our Hitchcock, one of our
Well,
Hitchcock
I wouldn't call
moments.
it a Hitchcock moment. I'll just say it was a little tense moment.
I think, well, I feel like it's one of our Hitchcock moments.
Wow, that is simply
I'm
amazing.
trying to tell
Oh
you.
my gosh. Well, Chris, while I have you, I have a question for you. In an industry that can have its challenges for women of color, what has, I guess, more so motivated you to persevere and to be steadfast and unmovable with this amazing gift that God has given you and blessed you with?
Oh, thank you. I think it really is just that. It's God, you know, and then my husband, second, when I moved to California, I was a working actor in Georgia, so I immediately thought, oh, that's just going to transfer over to what I do in Los Angeles. I'm going to be series regular, I'm going to blow, it's going to be all good, you know, and then we're 7 years later. So there's a lot of no's, more than I ever anticipated, especially being a woman of color. But when you get down to the heart of who you are and the gift that you have, and you are willing to give that up, and God tells you no, then you continue on. And that's what happened to me. I mean, I mean, there was a time where I wasn't working, wasn't making any money as an actor. My confidence had gotten super low. Although I felt I had something special, I wasn't being hired. And so I was consistently hearing no. And that begins to affect you, you know, just as a person. And so I went to God and I said, Lord, if it be your will, because maybe this isn't for me. Maybe that point of my life, like this acting thing is over. If it be your will, I will let it go. And I really honestly gave it to God and was willing to move on to something else. And the funny thing about God is I got an audition the next day. And so it was that sort of thing that was like, no, you're on the right track. It was just the journey isn't what you thought it was going to be. And I'm so grateful that it wasn't. And then my husband T has been so encouraging in saying, no, this is where you are supposed to be. Let the world catch up with you. And so when he gave me that, and it was really a gift that you gave me when you gave me that, because it's like another door opens where you say, all right, this is what's in my heart and in my spirit, and this is my gift. So whether you want to hire me or not, I am going to continue to act. I am going to be able to make a living out of it because that's God's will for me. So when that door opens and you have a completely different perspective, it's not about you going out to the world. It's about the world coming to you and catching up with what you have and then you giving them your gift as an offering. And that's exactly like where we are. Mm-hmm. And so I'm grateful to you for just opening that window for me. Yeah.
I love that you guys are really spiritually grounded, and
Yes.
being in the profession that you are and being in the place, in the Hollywood area, dealing with all of those different type of variants, color included, it's really refreshing, and the audience don't really know how many times, we've talked with you guys, most of the time you're calling for spiritual guidance. And that's just, I mean, as a dad and as a pastor, it just warms my heart
Yes.
to see that there are still those out there that puts God first and everything else second. That being said, now I know you guys are currently working on a new project, and it's called The Recipe. So, Tawan, this is kind of a twofold question for you. When are you going to do something that you can put this one right here in so she can leave me
Yes.
alone? She is a frustrated wannabe. I
I'm
mean,
expressive.
yeah, she really believes that she can be this big time actress.
Oh, no, no.
But in all seriousness, I know you guys are working on your new project, The Recipe. Now, you guys sent me some pictures, of course, and let me kind of cue it up because I got a question about this one right here. So now here's my question to one. What's going on? And then here's the picture. So I want everybody to see the picture. So you know my affinity for guns. I love to shoot, and I own guns. So when I saw this one with the shotgun, immediately my thought was, what in the world is going on in this scene? So Tawan, what's going on?
So that frame, along with 24 other frames, is that's what opens the film. Someone gets shot in the bed, and then after that scene, it goes 22 years later to find out what that meant in connection to what's going on now, and how a family recipe is in the center of all of that. No one got killed over grits. It was just it's it's a different kind of recipe that we can't reveal right now.
So now, this what I have on the screen right now, this is what I call the epitome of Chris. This girl can get in the moment
Yeah.
like nobody I have ever seen. And I don't even know what this scene is really about, but just looking at it, Chris, please help us to understand what was going on right here.
Be careful. You
I
can't,
know
yeah.
I can't reveal too much because I'll give away the story. But I will tell you this: it's interesting with the recipe, with everything that is going on with us as a society. The person who Breonna Taylor is what moved me through this entire
Yeah, it's okay.
this entire
Sorry.
film. So her death really
It's okay.
it impacted the world,
Sorry.
but it impacted me personally, and then artistically, it's what took me through. It's what took me through the film. So at that moment, I was just thinking about what it is to what her final moments must have felt like, what it was for her to be awakened in her sleep, to chaos, to what should have never been, to hate, to it just that's really what it was. And so it does line up with what with what you will end up seeing. But that's
And also, if you don't mind,
no,
we were shooting this on the weekend of Juneteenth.
yes,
So we started shooting June 19th, and I think that was the day that slavery was abolished.
yes,
I think in Texas or in general. And so that whole feeling was like kind of permeating through, like just going right through the set. And I remember there was a part in the backyard
mm-hmm.
where Crystal just couldn't go on, and she needed a moment. She had about, was it like 10 minutes?
Yeah,
And then I went to go get more equipment, and then that's when you was on the stairs. But she went back.
yeah. Well, of course, he told me I had to go.
Well, I didn't want to.
But But yeah, there was, and the great thing about this is, we were able to raise money during a pandemic. We were able to raise money when the
Yeah.
world kind of went into a total tailspin, and chaos was all around us. And we thought that Tawan came up with the story, and then I was in the shower and I said, "Oh, babe, I've got a twist for your story." And then from that point on, we were full steam
I thought it was
ahead.
another twist when you were in the I thought it was something else. Never mind.
No, remember I was like, I got a twist.
Yeah, but I thought she was talking about another script that she had written, and I was a little afraid. But this twist turned out to be I haven't seen it before.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in the film before. Not saying it hasn't been done. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking about, Papa B, was Breonna Taylor.
Wow, that is just so. I mean,
It had me almost tearing up.
I
over
know,
here.
I know. I was like, "Where's the tissue?"
You know.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
And I'm a crier anyway,
Yes,
so.
Lord.
But it's just so phenomenal, just listening to how you get into character
Yes,
and to
yes.
all of the different things that are involved in that and that come into play. So thank you for being so transparent with that answer. For Tawan, I have another question. So growing up as a pastor's kid or
Oh boy.
as a PK kid and having a father and a mom and a grandfather and a grandmother that are all just pioneers of the gospel, how has their example inspired you or made a lasting impression on you foundationally so, or even spiritually so, to be able to achieve this level of success that you have in your career?
Because they are flawed and they stay with God. You know, when you have people who, I'm Christian, you can't tell me nothing, and you can't talk to them. I have this, I don't know, I would say it's a God-given gift to just kind of tune people out. I literally know it's an art. I can just tune them out. And I don't care if you're a pastor, my mother, father. If I thought you were false, I just will just tune you out. And with their faults, that's their, I would say that's their, gosh, I don't know how to put it. That's really the thing that just keeps drawing me into my parents is their faults, because they don't die in their faults. They live through them, and they use God as the anchor to get through it. And so what that does for me is when I'm kind of like slipping, because I used to curse a lot. I mean, I think that was another art. I could cuss somebody out in so many different ways that it ain't even funny. And so I've I've taken their examples to try to curb even. I'm not there yet, but I'm close. Um, to curb how I speak, how I react to people sometimes. Because sometimes I'm very. Sometimes I can be blunt and mean, and then there's times I'm just blunt. And then but I have a very, 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 very giving spirit. But the flaw that is in me kind of rises up sometimes. But again, I have a reference. I have an index. I have my father. My father has shown the type of strength. I mean, you can't, you can't duplicate it. So I can't falter. I can't like go inside of the cracks, because there's someone there who has gone through it, and I can kind of, even if I have to kind of pull him all the way into me, I have something to keep me going. And so those are the things that I grab onto, and that's the good part. The bad part, daggone, being a pastor's kid, man. I look, it's like this. Being a pastor's kid it's interesting because you're always judged, and your heart is on yourself because you're a pastor's kid. But I never even got handcuffed before. You know, I never really got into crazy trouble. I just had a mouth that people wanted to beat me up a lot. But it was just that thing of being a pastor's kid that you just have this high bar, and sometimes you just don't want to face it. You just want to dismiss it, and you want to go do your own thing. And then, you know, you start. I did. I don't know about my other brother or sisters, but I started to resent God for that. Like, you know, I don't want to be a pastor. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that. Why I got to do this? Why I got to do that? So it had its trouble, but I found a middle ground. I found a way that God spoke to me in terms of and my father said this in church, and I tell you, I was in the church pew in my mind cussing him out when he was. I mean, I was going for it, and I was just looking right at him, right when he came up to me and he said, video ministry, and I just looked at him, and every word that you can think that somebody can come up with. I mean, I was laying in, and I was just like, how could he say that? God didn't tell him that, but I'm literally doing it. I mean, you know, sound, you know, yes, it's a thriller, but we went to several film festivals, and there are people who suffer from hyperacusis. Hyperacusis is a disease that people get after hearing really, really loud sounds, like all their life, going to concerts. So if anyone are playing, you know, you're playing music really loud, be careful with that, because at any moment, you could be sitting down having dinner, all of a sudden everything becomes loud. And so that's a real thing. So when we were at festivals, people were coming up to Crystal in particular. And remember the doctor, especially in New Jersey, the woman who said that she and her husband, they suffer from hyperacusis.
Yep.
And we were bringing awareness to something for other people, and it made them feel validated. With the recipe, it touches on so many different things, and it's one of very few films that I actually mention God in, because it's not. I don't never deny God, but I don't try to preach. I just try to deliver what I believe the Holy Spirit gives me in my work, and it is video ministry. I can't avoid it, and so it's going to have some effect because of what's in the story, and I open it up in a very brutal way so that, you know, you can understand what it takes to get to the place where these two women are going in this story. So that long answer is to just say that, you know, when God picks your family, he knows exactly what he's doing. And to be a pastor's kid is actually a blessing. So for any pastor's kids out there, and you know you're getting on your parents' nerves and they're getting on yours, when you mature, you're going to realize that it all makes sense.
I tell you, you touched my heart. But Tawan, I'm confused because I didn't think I had any flaws. I thought I was perfect. Listen, son, you make your pops quite proud.
Yes.
I got to tell you, man, and you know, I know it's, you know, and to Darlene's question, I know it's difficult, you know, because I was a PK, I was a pastor's kid as well, and I know the struggle that I had, you know, because I used to swear I would never ever be, forget being a pastor. I said I would never be a preacher. People would say, "Oh, you're going to be a preacher like your father." And I said, "Well, just because my father's a preacher don't mean I'm going to be one." I went through that same thing. But you know what's funny? When the time came, Tawan and Chris, I couldn't wait to do it. And that's what I mean about the journey. Sometimes you can't see where God is taking you. You can only see where you are. And it's good to stay in the moment. But I know when that time comes, God not only prepares you, but he prepares the one around you, like myself. You know, I had to learn when to back off and when to push. Of course, I know you're in that mouth of the South. You know, you would let me know in a second if I was pushing too hard. But you're right. It is the support system, and it is a difficult task. And I know it was a difficult task, but just seeing where you are right now, you know, man, all I can say is, as a dad, I am so proud of you. that I'm just bubbling over. So I know Darlene has one more question for Chris, and then we're going to wrap it up and let you guys give the information of how they can actually see this film sound that you guys have gotten so many accolades about. Go ahead, honey.
Okay, so this last question is for Chris. Being married and working together towards your vision comes with its ups and it also comes with its challenges. So, what would you say is the glue that keeps you and Tawan connected professionally, as well as allowing it not to affect you both in your marriage as husband and wife?
Mm.
That's such a great question. I think well, I know the glue is God, and the glue is our purpose and our love for one another. But just really, because I know we're about to wrap it up, but one thing that I thought was really important when people watch sound is we often joke and say we had a crew of five. It was God, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, Tawan, and myself. Like when you watch this film, we really didn't have a crew because we had very limited budget. The same thing with the recipe. We didn't really have a crew. And so I think when, when we get into our creatively, we will clash and Tawan will come hard and I will come very hard back at him because
Why yours is very?
because I mean, he comes hard, so you gonna come. You gotta come correct. So it's very hard with facts because he might have a different vision that I have from the film. But the one thing that we know is we're on the same team, so we need to always be on the same page. And sometimes we have both learned that page might not be my page. It might be his page. So I think God has given us a spirit of compromise with one another.
Yeah.
And because we love each other so much, because we love what we do so much, we understand God has put us together for a reason. And I know I have become a much better woman because I listen to him. And I really respect him as a man and as a creative. And I think he does the same for me. So God has moved me in ways as a woman and as an artist that I never thought I would be moved. And a lot of that has to do with compromise and love and listening. And so I listen now with a different ear. As a wife, I listen even when we're creatively speaking. I mean, I never leave that title of wife behind, but I know I'm listening from a perspective of we're on the same page. You might not agree. I might not agree with him, but there's a way that we've learned to communicate with each other because we know underneath that we both want the same thing for each other. And that's the goodness of the project, the goodness of our marriage. We want to elevate. So it's really about compromise, listening, and letting go of ego and making sure God is at the forefront of everything that we do, period, point blank.
And can I add to that?
Please jump in.
It's we also respect each other's position. Like I don't try to tell her how to be an actress. I just try to, guide a performance in the way that it's written or I envision it. Crystal doesn't try to tell me how to direct. She takes the direction and then she offers up suggestions. Hey, what do you think if we would do this and do that? And you know me, sometimes I'll go, I don't see it immediately. Or sometimes I'll go, I don't see it. And then I'll come back to him like, you remember that thing you said before? So it's there with the compromise, but it's also taking each other's suggestions and just kind of like honing in on that and just, magnifying each other with what we're doing creatively. And you know what? The biggest thing of all this, everything else sounds great. It's cute. It's a bumper sticker. But you know what else? We just have fun.
We do.
We just like we're friends. We're married, we kiss each other, but we like to have fun.
Yeah.
And we like to get on each other's nerves. I like sometimes when she gets upset and that eyebrow goes up and she does that southern hip thing and I know you're not talking to me and so it's cute sometimes. Sometimes I do it because I want to see it because it's just cute. And we could be on set and Crystal needs a stand-in. Anybody that works with Crystal, I just need to say that she needs a stand-in because she will not stay still. Crystal, I need to set the focus, and she just moving. Crystal, just stay still, okay? And she starts doing it. I'm like, she won't stop moving. So I've learned that I start getting the focus when I don't ask her.
Well, that's what I was going to just say that. We also know how each other works.
Yeah.
Because I know when we go on set, he is tunnel vision. He is all about that business. He's very detail oriented and he wants to get what's in his mind and he wants to be able to see it. So he doesn't like to play. He doesn't like a lot of like kidding around. I mean, he has fun, but he's focused on getting what he came to set to give in order to get the story out there. So I would say too, you have to know how the other person works.
Yes.
Like you have to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
In life and just in work, both.
Yeah.
So I do that. Like we pay attention to how each other works.
So it's just a compliment. We just compliment each other, and it's fun. It's not being overly cutesy and all they lovey-dovey. They're only 4 years in. You wait till you get to 10 years. It's not even that. It's just cool. We just like having fun.
And I have to say this, Mama B, that's Tawan's mother. That's what I call her, Mrs. Bazemore. She told me one thing, and I think she told you too, but I never forgot it, and we never did it. She said, never break, how did she word it? Never break the marital bed. So even when we have gone to bed and we have been so upset and we never nobody came and slept in the other room or went to the living room we never have broken the marital bed.
However, if we're really mad and my foot touches her, she moves her foot away.
But we're still in that bed together. Always. So yeah. Stay in the bed. Don't break the marital bed.
Oh, Lord.
I think you guys are just, Darlene, I wish you could just see us sitting here when you guys are talking. We are just cracking up with the both of you, because you remind us of us, and it's good to see love, real love in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So now here's the thing. I know you have a new project coming along. So when, two questions. When can we expect to actually see the recipe released? And secondly, how can people that want to view this amazing film that you've done, Sound, the one that's already released now, how can they see that? But when can we expect to see the recipe? And then you guys can give your closing remarks, and then we're gonna leave it there until the next time. So when can we expect to see the recipe, and how can people get the link to go and watch Sound?
Go right ahead, Lovey.
So the recipe, we're kind of hoping that we premiere it around the same time we started it, which is on Juneteenth. If not, it will be July. We got a little delayed because I'm still a professional colorist, and I feel blessed that I got a lot of work, and so that takes precedence over finishing the film. But we're thinking early summer, June or July, that should be done. And then with Sound, it's on Amazon Prime worldwide. It just hasn't been. They have another film called Sound of Metal, and so there are two competing films. So then, since it's their original, it's not going to be there for probably another month. However, right now you can watch it on Tubi. Just type in Sound. Just go to Tubi, Tubi.tv or TubiTV.com. One of the two.
Sure.
But it's the app Tubi. You just download the app and you just type in Sound, and you should see it right there.
So what I'm going to do, Tawan, I'm gonna put out, as Chris, I'm going to let Chris, give us the instructions, but I'm going to put out on my Facebook page how exactly, and I know you guys say this on Amazon Prime, so everyone should know that, and I know there's another resource that they can go to watch it, but I really want to suggest to everyone that you go and watch this amazing short film. I can't wait for them to do a full featured film. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yes.
And I'm waiting for my ship to come in so I can pay for it, because I want to see your skills in action, for a whole movie. I want to see your full direction and cinematography, and the way you actually, this is the one thing I have not mentioned. People may not know that you are actually a colorist, that you color films as well. And this is something that you've gotten very proficient in. So you have a plethora of skills that you bring to the table. And I want everyone to get an opportunity to see the full Tawan and the full Crystal.
Yes.
So, Chris, why don't you just tell us again how we can watch this, and then we're going to close it out until the next time.
Okay. So you want to say something?
Yeah, but
Barbara?
I just want to be clear. Colorist, a digital colorist. I color films. I want people thinking I do hair, because people get confused if they don't know what a colorist is. I just want to just be clear that it's digital colorist. Okay.
Okay. Yes. Cleared up. So the film sound is now on tubitv.com. So if you just type in sound, I wish I had the poster because there are a couple of other sounds that come up. Let me just see.
But there's only one that says sound.
Oh, there's only one. Okay,
believe
so
so,
it's Tubi TV. It's also, if you have the app for Tubi, you can just pull it up and it will come right up. Here it is. Here is right here. If you can see that, that is the poster with the ear where it says sound. The poster with the ear. So it's that one. So go to tubitv.com. Look up sound. That'll pop up. They can't see, but that's okay. But Tubi TV and it's sound. What else? What is our handle for sound on Instagram?
At Sound Movie.
At Sound Movie. If you want to follow Tawan, he is Director Bazemore on Instagram. I'm Chris P. Baze, B-A-Z-E. That's all of our handles. And just to close out, I want to say, you know, God has moved us in so many wonderful ways. But I want to give a testament to you, Papa B, and to Darlene very quickly because, you know, we had been, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this, we've been struggling a little bit with, I don't want to say struggling, I just don't think the faith was there in tithing. And so, you know, we have started tithing regularly. And I just want to tell everyone who is not tithing or is maybe thinking, you know, they don't have enough or they're not sure where necessarily they can put the faith in giving their tithe. God has moved us in such a way, just financially, spiritually, with us being like our love, our marriage, our
favor,
our career. It's changed our life. And really, Papa B and Darlene, you have assisted in us tithing and really helped us to understand what that means to tithe, why you should tithe, the favor that comes with that. You don't tithe for the favor, but it's a favor that comes with that. And so we are so blessed now to be tithing every week, and it has brought us so much joy, it has brought us so much favor, and it has brought us so much faith.
And you know, and it also is just kind of given us I don't feel like I'm stealing. You know, I don't feel like, you know, somebody has blessed me to have something and I just, you know, I'll see you later, thank you. But no. So I don't feel like that anymore. I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It's that simple. It's like if you're following God and you're following the Bible and you actually believe, and even more than believe, you know, and then you just decide not to do it, you have to question why. And so for me, and look, it's not like, I'm just going to say it, it's not like I'm just, oh, there's $20 here and there, because every tithe is great. But it really starts to hurt when you make a certain amount and you have to push that through. You have to give it. And if you're not used to doing it, you're going to be like, well, what good is this going to do? What good is that? What good is that? Well, if you've tried other things and given those things so many opportunities and you give God one, I mean, what does that say? Just tithe. You want to give God the same amount of time that you've given to other things, and let's see who wins. Because I can guarantee you that God's going to come out on top. And we're a testament of that for sure.
We are, for sure.
Because I didn't like tithing. I'm gonna be 100. I didn't want to do it at all. I want to buy. Remember, I want to buy lenses. What am I gonna? Yeah, I wanted to buy lenses, and I'm like, I wanted to buy another camera, but it was just like I did what I was supposed to do.
And you know what? He did what he was supposed to do, and he got the lenses
For free.
We're just gonna leave that there.
Yep.
Well, Tawan and Chris, we want to thank you so very much for giving us the opportunity to catch you on the way up. Because you guys are like a hot air balloon, and the more air, the hot air that goes into that balloon, the higher it's going to go.
Yes.
So all of the weights have been taken off. You know, in the balloon, they have those weights that's on the thing.
All
And
the weights
once
are
the
off.
weights are removed, you only have one way to go, and that's up.
Up.
And we can see you guys headed up.
Yes.
And we are honored that we have this opportunity to share with you. And everyone, there you have it. Remember those names. Tawan Bazemore, Crystal Bazemore, you're going to be seeing those on the bright lights very soon.
Yes.
So go now and watch sound. I'm going to be putting on my Facebook page how you can see this incredible movie. Honey, do you have any closing remarks?
No, it's just phenomenal. We love you guys so much, and we're just so glad to be there for you at this stage of your journey, because we know that God has so much more.
So we thank you for joining in with us today. Remember, we did record this, so we're going to go back and look at it. If we see the interruptions, you know, like we were seeing here live, we're going to make sure that we can get this to you uninterrupted.
Yes.
And if we can't, we're going to do it again.
That's right.
Because we want you to get the benefit of this amazing couple,
Yes.
this up and coming couple in Hollywood. So we want to thank you for joining in with us on today. And for this special edition of Words to Inspire You. We look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, may God bless you, and we love you.
God bless.
Thank you for joining Words to Inspire You with your host, Pastor John Bazemore. Words to Inspire You is a production of Restoration Christian Ministries Incorporated, teaching the Word, living by faith, growing in grace. We thank you for watching this broadcast and pray that you will continue to partner with us. We invite you to join us again for our next program as we present Words to Inspire You, a time of refreshing.